Hi everyone, it's Chloe BCU and Heather here. We are doing just a quick update about our journey to Fashion Week San Diego for 2016. We'll do updates periodically and they'll be brutally honest. We're going to be honest about some things because even though we're really excited for our journey and to go to Fashion Week this year, there's also some little snags that we're experiencing. And I just kind of want to document our journey because, even if we never do this ever again, I'll kind of be able to look back on this year and see how fun it was. And the reality is, we will never have a first year at Fashion Week ever again. Even if we do it next year, it won't be our first year, and it won't have the same challenges or exciting things that we're experiencing this year. Oh, goodness, Chloe. Oh, your little ears bothering me. So we're gonna start, hopefully this won't be too self-indulgent, by the way. Like I said, we're just trying to kind of be honest and, I don't know, maybe this will be fun to look back on, or it'll be inspirational for some of you, who knows. But this is our journey, this is our first little update. It's been almost exactly a month since we received our Kickstarter funding. Thank you again so much to all of you who contributed and invested. So we're going to start with, every time we do an update, we'll kind of detail our challenges. We'll talk about what we're grateful for, and we'll give you guys some details on what's next. So without further ado, let's start with the challenges that we've been experiencing in the last month. Chloe, do you want to talk about our challenges? Do you want to tell everyone? So the first challenge, especially since the beginning of this year, is me realizing that we definitely need help, that I need help. I need another seamstress to help me out. We're averaging probably about 10 orders a week, which I'm still working my other jobs and doing the sewing all myself, the sewing and designing all myself. And I am certainly not too egotistical to realize that I need help. It's been quite a challenge to actually find help. We've already gone through several seamstresses, and they're talented. Some of them are very, very talented, but I'll just leave it at saying that I was really disappointed in their level of professionalism. I take what we're doing very, very seriously, and I get the sense that some of the other people that I wanted to include don't take what we're doing seriously. And I need a seamstress. I desperately need someone kind of side by side that I can communicate with and make sure that our vision and our designs are coming to life in how I envision them coming to life, if that makes any sense. So that has been certainly really, really challenging. In coordination with that, time management has also been very, very challenging for me. You know, if I had the opportunity to have a superpower, my superpower would be to be able to think of a dress and then just have it whipped out, just designed and sewn in 2 seconds. I need a Cinderella amount of mice and birds and little creatures to come in and help sew stuff for me. I have all these plans And in my mind, it takes 2 seconds, and I blink and it's a week later. And that is really, really uncomfortable for me because, I have worked in customer service all my life and I know how important that is. And getting orders out 2 weeks later to people is just not. It's a source of stress for me. But at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm doing things right. So I have to, I don't know, I have to really make sure that I'm managing my time and doing things right too. I also find myself grappling quite a bit with self doubt. It's not to say that I'm not confident, it's just that when you open yourself up creatively, it leaves you very, very vulnerable. And as many times as I try to say that I need to toughen up, I'm still a people pleaser. I still care what people think about us, and I have really high expectations for myself. I tend to celebrate the wins for other people more than I celebrate for myself. And I tend to focus on the mistakes and the failures. And I take them as a learning experience, but I also focus on them very heavily. Instead of congratulating myself or giving myself the win, I kind of wallow in self-doubt sometimes. And sometimes it takes, a couple days to like dig myself out of the self-doubt. But I mean, I'm sure as any artist or any creative type person will tell you, it's so difficult to put yourself out there creatively because I care very much about the stuff that I'm making. As silly as it seems, they're just dog dresses to some people, but for me, they're a creative outlet. I want people's critiques. I want to know when things don't fit. I want to know when people don't like what I am selling. But at the same time, I need to find a way to focus on the positive and not dwell so heavily on the negative. So hopefully that'll be something that I kind of conquer over the course of our journey in the next year or the next 10 months. Okay, so moving on from that kind of doom and gloom, we had some leftover money from the Kickstarter. So I needed about $3,000 to enter Fashion Week San Diego, and I raised over that amount. The original amount that I said that I needed was $3,500, but that's because Kickstarter takes a portion of my funds. So I wanted to make sure that I had at least enough for Chloe and I to enter Fashion Week. Super, super grateful for the overage because I was able to get a serger, which will give my pieces a more finished and professional look. Everything's been very, very handmade, and I've had to kind of work around raw edges and doing hems a certain way. So having a serger it's a life changer. I'm so, so appreciative. I got that on Amazon for like, I think it was like, God, I keep changing the amount because I never remember, but I think it was about $150, which is a really, really good deal. And then I also got a new brother sewing machine. I saved up for that myself, and I purchased that at Costco this last weekend for about $170. So I'm insanely grateful for that. I had been working on a sewing machine, a Singer sewing machine that lasted me a decade. I've been sewing on that thing for a decade. and it is a champ. I will probably still use it. I have it packed up over there in my new little studio, but it's been such a champ. However, having the new stuff has been very, very amazing. I am also super grateful for my husband and his brother who very, very nicely put together our new studio for us. It's in our garage, which is downstairs, so no more sweatshop, no more really, really hot rooms. The room that I was working in upstairs was insanely hot, like 85, 90 degrees, and I'd be sweating and grouchy while I was sewing. So I'm really grateful to now be working in a cooler garage. I don't think I say it nearly enough, but I'm so, so grateful for my husband. He has, you know, he's the numbers guy, so he doesn't really get the whole creative thing. But he still supports me, and he has really helped me, put together this studio and encouraged me with getting new equipment. And he has never, ever, ever made me feel stupid for doing dog clothes. Which some guys are just like, oh my God, dog clothes, that's so silly. But he's always been my champ as far as that's concerned. The other thing I never say nearly enough, just because I don't want to be like overly mushy, but I am super appreciative. I will say vocally and publicly, I'm super appreciative for this little nugget right here. This little nugget, Chloe Bisou, who is sleeping in my arms like a little baby right now. But she's the one that inspired all this. She's always loved to dress up, and I've always had such a tough time getting clothes to fit her. And now that I'm able to make her clothes and kind of share her style with other doggies, it's more than I could ever ask for. So thank you, Chloe. And I continue to be insanely grateful for all of you. I know that, kind of going back to the time management thing, it just kills me that I can't get back in touch with all of you nearly quickly enough. You know, I'm working literally, like no joke, from sometimes 7 a.m. till 9 or 10 p.m. and on this sewing machine, designing and wearing away on my sewing machine. And sometimes I just can't get back to Instagram or Facebook or Twitter fast enough to continue to thank all of you guys. So I hope that we don't come across too aloof, but I hope that you all know, and I will continually remind all of you how grateful I am for every single one of you guys, for believing in us and for supporting us and for just being so, so kind and the nicest people I could ever ask to be friends with. So what's next? Tomorrow I have a meeting with Fashion Week San Diego. It's going to be actually my first meeting with them, and they are going to give us all of the dates of what's happening this year. So Fashion Week isn't just the one runway, say that 10 times. One way. It's not the one runway show in October. There's actually several events. One of them is actually going to be at the end of April. So tomorrow I will have all of those details for everybody. I also am excited to have our model squad. We are going to be doing 10 looks on the runway in October, and so we recruited 10 dogs. We have them all set in place. 10 dog models, and I'm really, really excited to get all of their information and introduce all of them to you guys. We're slowly weeding our way through the Kickstarter information. Thank you so much, you guys, for providing all that information to me. We'll be starting those hopefully within the next week or so. If I have not seen an important note in your Kickstarter information about needing a certain piece before April, please feel free to email me, Heather at thestylishbeesu.com, and just kind of give me a heads up. Say, hey, Heather, I need my stuff before April. And then otherwise, we will keep you guys kind of updated. It probably will be every month or so. We'll just kind of keep plugging away. I'm sure there'll be new challenges that we'll be greeted with. And on the flip side, we'll always have things to be grateful for. And we'll always have new information for you guys. Really, really excited for our spring collection, which is coming up very, very soon. And otherwise, we'll be working feverishly on our designs for October. All right, guys. Chloe, do you want to say goodbye to everyone? You want to get for a second and say goodbye? She's such a little sleepy head. Chloe, say goodbye to everyone. Oh, my goodness. Oh, you little sleepy head. Chloe BC says goodbye. We gotta get back to sewing. Love you guys. Bye.